guys just hear what he said, what goes through your mind, knowing that kind of legacy and what you're trying to follow?
Skyy, why don't you go first?
Absolutely. It's definitely a blessing just to be a part of this, to be a part of the history, be a part of the tradition. And, it's definitely a lot to carry for sure. But, it motivates us to go out there and just do what we can.
Donovan?
Yeah, like we said, a lot comes with these 4 letters that we wear on our chest, and we just kind of want to make a name for ourselves in the history of it, so just keep playing great.
Does it put extra pressure on you when you're following that?
I wouldn't say extra pressure, but we know there's definitely a standard that needs to be held. So.
When did you guys first hear UCLA, and how far back does your knowledge of it all go?
We both grew up in Cali, so, ever since I was little, UCLA was always around.
Other questions for student athletes? Right here. Good.
Hey guys, Coach talked about having Sunday and Monday as kind of reset days. How much of a luxury was that, and what did you guys do during that time to prep for today and ramp up the process?
We did a lot. We watched a lot of film on UCF and all that, and we had a lot of rehab time, so a lot of us had a treatment, just got our bodies right for the rest of the tournament. And I think those 2 days were very helpful for us.
Skyy?
Yeah, just watch film, relax a little bit. It was a nice day in Cali, so went and chilled out by the pool just to get a little mental reset. So yeah.
What's the ramp-up process been like for you specifically, getting ready, and how are you feeling now entering tomorrow?
I feel good. I had a lot of time to get back to 100%, and we watched a good amount of film. They're a good team, and I feel like we're just ready. We're all ready to go.
You said you had some time. Whoa, this is loud. You said you had some time to watch film on UCF. I know it's not a program maybe you're familiar with playing, but what did you notice? What stands out about the Knights and their brand of basketball?
Yeah, they're super athletic. They got a lot of scores. They got some really good guard play. They got a super tall center, and they're super aggressive. The ISO ball is they can really take it off the dribble and everything. They got a really good point guard as well, so we're gonna really have to lock in on stay in front of the ball.
Donovan?
Yeah, pretty much. Skyy said they're really a heavy ISO-oriented team, and we just got to really guard our yard basically. A lot of one-on-one defense in this game.
Other questions for the student athletes down here?
Carl Baltimore District Buckets. I know you guys mentioned being Cali guys. Wanted to ask you guys about what that truly means to have that UCLA on your chest there and put on for your state. Does it really give you some extra motivation to really turn up on these stages?
Yeah, absolutely. Just growing up in LA, playing for UCLA was always a dream for me, and now that I'm here, especially playing in March Madness, I don't think you need any more motivation than that.
Donovan?
Yeah, being from California, having to go away first, then getting the opportunity to come back, I think we both had that. It's a great feeling to be able to play for your hometown school and just kind of represent for them.
Other questions for the student athletes? Great. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Tried D'Alessandro's today. It was excellent.
You had it already?
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's the best.
already.
Yeah, it's the best.
Going for Joe's next.
City Joe's?
Fishtown.
Oh, Fishtown Joe's. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Questions in the front? Go ahead.
Ben Bulch, California Post. So no worries about cholesterol on this trip?
No. So look, whenever this is over, I had a talk with my dog, as you know, as my stress relief friend. We both got to get in shape. I've over-treated him all winter, so we got to both lose 5. So definitely no concerns. When in Philly, you don't eat cheesesteak, you shouldn't show up. It'd be un-American. Come on, man.
Nuts and bolts question. Tyler and Donovan, how are they right now?
They look good today. So we already practiced at Drexel, so we'll do some shooting here in our court time. So knock on wood.
And when it comes to Trent Perry, did you foresee this kind of elevation in his game? And obviously getting a bigger opportunity helps, but what else has gone into the way he's played since moving to the starting lineup?
We foresee a lot of things as coaches, and a lot of guys get up here and act real smart. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. In his case, I was right. That's one. 2, I give him all the credit. I think in coaching, the one thing we believe in is player development. And the guys that are good guys that listen have always developed in our program to a high level and on to the NBA. But I give him all the credit because the coaching works more for guys with the right attitude. So you can coach some guys, you could coach them for 20 years and they'd be the same player. They would be. I mean, experience tells me that. I thought it was paramount to keep him in our program because not just his talent level, I thought his acumen, his aptitude for basketball was going to help him grow faster, and his life habits. I think there's a correlation between if you're responsible and academically you're responsible on the court. It was just a matter of time for him.
Over here. Yep, right there.
Kip Coons, Press Box View. Mick, you coached against Johnny Dawkins for years in the American. What does that familiarity with his teams do for you tomorrow?
Look, I said to my staff, somebody go to their public workout and make sure Taco Fall ain't out there. Because if he is, I'm not coaching. We're out of here. Make sure Taco's not out there, man. So, no, Johnny's a great guy. Like I said my other day in our media session, look, Central Florida was mid-major basketball, and he's taken Central Florida, obviously, from the American Conference to the Big 12, which is a massive jump. I coached in the American. Massive jump. So for them to have the year they had in that Big 12 and to be here speaks to the job he's been able to do. And it's not easy, right? He lost a lot of players, whether it was, to the transfer portal or graduation last year, almost all of them, right? So, but Johnny's a great coach. He does a great job, but and one of the good guys in our business. So I'm happy that they made it. We got to play again, and I'm just, again, can't tell you how thankful I am Taco's not on their team.
We'll go second row over here, and then we'll come back over here.
Ben Geff from the Sporting Tribune. I know you said Monday was kind of a reset day, so to speak. Wanted to ask what the prep process has been like since then, and what's that ramp-up look like over the next few days entering today?
Well, we're done, so the hay's in the barn for us. We'll shoot today, and tomorrow we'll have our game day stuff that's normal over at Drexel. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practices are over with. Try to do a little bit more each day. But you got to, the more experience you get with this, you realize that you better have your guys ready to play on game night, and they only got so many games left in them. I don't know if they have any hard practices left in them. So I'm a believer in once we get to going really, doing something really hard, really well, stop it, get to the next thing, and stop practice this time of year. So. If you have to build habits by over practicing on March 18th, you haven't done your job all year. So you better be ready to play on game night. And we played 3 games last week, so.
I want to touch on Eric Freen's impact. How big has he been over recent weeks, especially depth-wise? You have Donovan Dent, you have Donovan back, you have Tyler back.
Right.
How big is he going to be depth-wise entering the tournament?
I think Eric, we're desperately in need of a really high-level second defender that rebounds. And Eric, because Skyy Clark's excellent defender. And nobody's really said this. I mean, I said this when he came back. It was going to take Skyy Clark a long time to get back to normal. And since he's been back in the starting lineup, we've been a top 10 team in the country metrically in almost everything. That being said, it coincides with Eric Freeney's development. So it's been both our best defensive players, especially on the perimeter, but in my opinion, period, has made us a better team. It's having Skyy healthy and Eric Freeney playing more, which is he earned the right, and then he's built trust. He's built trust. With coaching staffs, any coaching staff. It's all about trust. And he's earned our trust, and he wants to go in there and guard somebody, like guard the other team's best player. So it's changed us, made us a much better team. To be pointed with your answer, my answer for you.
We're gonna go over here, and then we'll go in the back.
Hey, Coach. Carl Baltimore, District of Buckets. As a coach who's pretty much lived in this tournament, always getting teams to the postseason throughout an ever-changing landscape in college basketball, what do you feel is really attributed to your ability to not just adapt but also thrive as the environment's changed?
Well, you got to have players. If you can't coach, you're not going to be in these tournaments. If you're not able to adapt to different rosters, the better players you have, the further you go. I think we're 10-4 in my time at UCLA in the NCAA tournament. A lot of NBA players, Juzang, Jaquez, Clark, Bona. Although Bona got hurt and only got to play in one game in the NCAA tournament. If he'd have played in the next one against Gonzaga, we'd have won that one. And Peyton Watson. I mean, we missing names, but players is the key. I mean, at the end of the day, I saw my man, the great Gino Auriemma. Somebody said, so what's the difference? What's been the key for him? And he said, I got a lot of great players' phone numbers, meaning because they played for him. And that's the whole key to it, to getting in these things and advancing in them. But perseverance. If I was to give advice to somebody, you can never be easily defeated, because times will get tough. It's not always easy. You can never be easily defeated. Never.
We're gonna go in the back first. Yep.
Justin Williams, good to see you again.
I thought I saw that.
I'm here.
What's that A on there?
The Athletic.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I thought it was like an Angels thing. I'm a SoCal guy now.
That's right.
I thought you were rocking the Angels sweatshirt.
No. Donovan has been so good and so efficient, especially of late. Obviously a really good player, but were there any adjustments he or you made that have kind of helped him really take off here lately?
Is that it? Did he tell you to ask me this?
He did not, I promise.
Did you ask him this?
I did not, no.
Oh, you need to ask him this. Yeah, look, it hasn't been easy on him, because I bring intensity every day, to practice. I believe in giving everything you got to your players, but it's hard for me if a guy's not used to giving me everything he's got every day. And that was an adjustment for him, definitely. The standard of our practice, intensity every day. That being said, the nicest guy of all time, and could coach the team if I got hurt. That's how much he knows basketball. That's how well versed he is in X's and O's, and he's quick on his feet with it as well. Like he was coaching the Purdue game from the bench with the guys in the timeouts, and I could hear the things he was saying were all right on point. So he really knows the game. But it's a huge adjustment for him, and a lot of pressure too, Justin. When you're so look. Do you cover any baseball? You're the high-priced free agent, right? Whether it was when Stanton went to the Yankees or when Freddie Freeman came to the Dodgers, right? Or Shohei a couple years ago. We got a lot of them, Mookie. It's a lot of pressure when you're that guy. So, I've tried to help him through that. So it's definitely been an adjustment that he's I kept telling him, my analogy was you got to keep throwing punches. You're still in the ring, man. Just keep throwing punches. You'll get better. It'll get easier. The last part of this answer is, look, the league he played in had one bid this year. He's playing in a league this year with 9 NCAA tournament teams and some really good teams that didn't make it. I'm talking about multi-million-dollar teams that didn't make the, $12 to $20 million teams that didn't make the NCAA tournament in our league. So that is another adjustment for him. So I'm proud of him. His assist to turnover 13 to 1 over the last whatever games is crazy. It's crazy. So just hoping that he's got a calf strain that seems to be feels great the last couple of days. I hope it doesn't rear up on him, so he can. We're going to need him at his best, at his best to make a run.
We're going to go John right here, and then we'll go Jerry in the back.
A couple of things. Talking about Central Florida, what is it they do that you're concerned about, and how do you attack whatever their weakness? And then also, there's the legacy of being a UCLA coach and all the things that's been done over the decades.
Well, Central Florida can score. They're athletic. They're old. Folks keeps me up at night because he can get in the lane whenever he wants. Whether he's great off the pick and roll, and he doesn't even need a pick and roll. He can go left or right. He makes good reads. Does a great job of getting in the lane while under control. Doesn't play out of control. He's a problem. And, obviously, I've seen Riley Kugel since high school. He played for a friend of mine in high school in Orlando, Ben Witherspoon. So I know he's a very good player and has gotten better as he's gotten older. So they can shoot it. They've struggled of late, which means law of averages, that's going to flip. And they're an athletic, aggressive team. We're talking about a team that wins over Texas Tech, Kansas, BYU. I mean, they got some Texas A&M's in the tournament. They got some serious wins. To answer your question, the reason, I had a great job. I was close to being the winningest coach ever at Cincinnati. And I left because there was a chance to coach at UCLA, which I regard as the best job. To sit and coach Wooden's chair and coach at the best university in the country, arguably the world, and then, everything that goes with it. I thought it was going to be a better move for my daughter. So, on the side note, we got to win 2 games because then I'll see her Monday, and she goes to American. So, yeah. Well, I could always get my ass beat and fly down and see her, so, But I'd like to spend a week with her, down at, she goes to AU. But anyway, it's an honor, it's tremendous. I've been very fortunate, to coach at my alma mater, which is a great basketball school at Cincinnati, and to be the head basketball coach at UCLA, following so many greats, whether it was, Ben Howland, 3 Final Fours, obviously Coach Wooden, Larry Brown, Coach Herrick won the national championship. So just the honor of a lifetime.
Last one in the back, Jerry.
Jerry Carino, Asbury Park Press. Mick, first of all, good choice.
Jerry Carino.
That's right. Good choice.
Big East, baby.
That's me.
You like D'Alessandro's?
I like it, but John's roast pork is better.
No, I haven't heard that. Girardi tells me Joe's Fishtown.
If you have a long weekend here, trust me, John's roast pork.
All right,
it's right around here.
All right, I got to type that in.
Okay, good. Jack Seidler's local for us.
Yeah.
I want to give him a little link. What's he done for your scout team? What kind of locker room guy has he been?
Jack's a great guy. That came through Coach Savino, who's a big-time coach, and his connections. Here, obviously we're close to Jersey, so, but, Jack's, he's headed for the other side of the tracks. Has he told you that? No. He's going for the agent. Well, he's in L.A., Jack's going to be an agent. So we call him Jerry Maguire. At some point when I found that out, now he's become Jerry Maguire all year. Of course, my players are younger. I had to make sure they saw the movie or go watch the movie, and Jack is Jerry Maguire. No, he's a great kid. That's with college sports. To be able to be around somebody 4 years, that's what I miss the most about what's going on. But most walk-ons don't go in the portal. So that's the good piece of that. The second piece of that is, as we did the roster expansion to 15 scholarships, if you take 15, you lose guys like Jack. But we need to save some money, and we only had, I think, 12 on scholarship to save some money to pay, so our athletic department could use some of the money for rev share to pay the players. So we have a few guys that are not on scholarship that are great guys, and Jack Seidler, he's just been awesome for us. I don't have an agent, but I've already told him no, I don't want one. Just the stories like that, those kind of guys, and the managers, they're what makes us different than the pros. He's the best.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow.